What if overthinking isn't actually one thing? Your friend invites you to dinner. You say yes, and then she mentions there will be a few people there you don't know. Suddenly, something shifts. Like you were fine 2 seconds ago, and now you're in the group chat typing, yeah, sounds great, I'm in, while your brain is running a whole simulation of all the possible ways this evening could go wrong. Or you said something in a meeting today, nothing crazy, just a comment, but now it's 2 a.m. and you're lying in bed replaying the entire moment all over again. Wishing you had said it better, or wishing you had not said anything at all. Or he hasn't replied. It's been 5 hours, and instead of probably just going, yeah, he's probably just busy, your brain has written a whole screenplay. He's not interested. You said something weird last time. 3 situations, but same type of feeling. And you'd probably call all 3 of them overthinking. But they're not the same problem. And that's what I want to talk about today. Let's start with the first one, which I call the decision overthinking. Should I sign up for this? Should I text him back? Do I go to the dinner or make an excuse? You go back and forth, you ask your friends, you make a pros and cons list in your head, you sleep on it, and then you wake up and it's still there, exactly where you left it. The weird part is, it's not like you don't have opinions about these things. You do. It's like when someone asks, where should we go for dinner? And you say, I don't mind, you pick. Then they suggest somewhere. And then you go, maybe not there though. You clearly know what you want. You just haven't told yourself what it is yet. And that's what's happening with the bigger stuff too. Your brain has no finish line, no criteria for what decided looks like. So it just keeps running. It's similar to this example that probably most of us can relate to. You know when you open Netflix and you don't know what you're in the mood for? You'll scroll for like 45 minutes and probably end up on something that you don't even want to watch. If you sit down and put some criteria on it, for example, I want to pick something funny and that's under 2 hours, you will probably find something fairly sooner. That's type 1. The first move is simple. Before you let yourself spiral, set the criteria. Ask yourself these 2 things. What will make it a yes? What will make it a no? Give your brain the finish line, and half the time, the looping will just stop. But here's where it gets interesting. Because sometimes you ask yourself that, and your brain still goes blank. Or it gives you something vague, like the class I couldn't decide on. I told myself I was weighing it up, the pros and cons. When I finally asked what would make me sign up, the answer was, I only wanted to go if my friend was going to do it with me. And to be very honest, I didn't want that to be the answer, because it made me feel like the kind of person who couldn't do things on her own. So instead of sitting with that, I just looped for 2 weeks. So if the criteria trick works, use it. It's that simple. But if it doesn't, ask the deeper question. Do I already know what I want? And am I just not letting myself say it? So that's type 1. But not every spiral is a decision. Sometimes the moment's already happened, but you're still in it. That's what we're going to tackle in the next type. Did I say the wrong thing? Do they think I'm weird now? Why did I say it like that? The moment's already happened. It's in the past. It's done. But you keep going back to it like there's an undo button. Rewording everything you said. Rehearsing better versions. Imagining how it should have played out instead. And it feels productive. It feels like you're working through it, but you're not. So what's actually happening here? You're not trying to fix what you said. You're trying to fix how someone else saw you. And you can't. It's done. But your brain doesn't accept that. It keeps running simulations like one of them might retroactively change the outcome. And here's what I noticed when I actually sat down with it instead of just replaying it. There's always a specific thing. Something you don't usually say out loud. Like for example, after that meeting where you spoke up and the room suddenly went quiet, the replay isn't really about what you said. It's about, I'm scared they will think that I don't belong in this room. Or after the thing at your friend's birthday, it's not about the joke you made. Is I'm scared they will think that I'm trying too hard. And this is why journaling about what happened doesn't actually fix this in the long term. You can write out the situation exactly as it happened, feel lighter, and go to bed. But next week, something slightly awkward happens again. Same loop fires up again. So the move isn't to replay better. It's to ask, what am I scared they think about me? Name the actual thing, not the situation, the fear. Because once you're looking at the real thing, the replay loses its job. So, type 1 is about a decision you haven't made. Type 2 is a moment you can't let go of, which brings us to type 3. And that might be the most common, the gap filling. He hasn't replied in 5 hours. She didn't invite me to the thing. Why did they phrase it like that? You don't have enough information. That's it. That's the whole problem. Your brain treats the I don't know as an emergency. So it writes a story. And it's never a generous story, is it? It's never just something like, oh, he's probably just busy. It's always, he lost interest. She doesn't actually like me. They're talking about me and I'm the last to know. And here's what's wild. Assuming the worst actually feels better than not knowing it at the moment, which sounds backwards. But think about it. If you expect the worst, you're prepared for it. You can't be blindsided. And your brain hates that more than it hates the bad news. So it fills the gap. Every time with the worst possible version. And then you react to that version like it's real. You get distant, you get cold, you start protecting yourself from something that hasn't even happened yet. Also, probably might never even happen. And the messed up part, sometimes the reaction is the thing that actually creates the problem. So, what's the fix here? There are really only two moves for this. Either get the actual information, so just ask, just check, just have the conversation you've been avoiding, or practice catching yourself in the act. Every time you notice your brain filling the gap, just go, that's a story, not a fact. That's the muscle. You're building it right now by seeing it. Next time you're spiraling, don't try to stop overthinking. You can't, and you don't need to. Just ask, am I stuck on a decision that I haven't made? Am I replaying something that's already done? Or am I filling a gap with a story I wrote myself? That one question takes you from spinning and to something specific. Specific you can actually work with. But here's the thing, right? Sometimes you do all of that. You spot the type, you ask the right question, and the loop still just keeps going. And you think it's not working. It is working. You just don't want it to stop. Not consciously, but somewhere in your brain, the spiral is doing its job. It's protecting you from something worse than the spiral itself. The decision loop means that you never have to commit. And if you never commit, you can never pick wrong. The replay, it means you stay focused on what you said instead of facing the fact that you can't control other people's reaction. And that's terrifying. The gap filling, it means you never have to just ask. Asking means you might hear something you can't unfeel. And the idea is not to figure out everything completely. It is to know at least which conversation you should have with yourself. Okay, so let me tell you what changed before you watching this video and after you watching this right now. First, it's not one problem, it's 3. And which one you're in changes everything about how you handle it. You walked in calling yourself an overthinker. That's not a thing anymore. Second, you've got a question that works real time. Next time you're spiraling, don't try to stop the overthinking. Just ask yourself, which type is this? Decision, replay, or gap? That takes you from spinning to specific, and specific is workable. Third, your brain isn't broken. It isn't doing something wrong. Either missing criteria, running a fear, or filling gap with fiction. That's not a flaw. That's just your brain doing the best it can without the thing it actually needs. And once you give what it needs, the looping stops. And honestly, you've probably already been doing it. While you were watching this, I bet you already thought of a specific situation. You already started working out which type this is. Maybe you've already figured it out. That's what happens when you give your brain better questions to work with. And that brings us to the end of the video. If you've got your type, drop it in the comments. I'd love to see which one comes up the most. I'm Shui. If this is your first time here, I make videos about diagnosing what's actually going on in your head instead of just applying those fixes and hoping one of them actually works. Not self-help, not motivation, not 10 steps to fix your life. More like thinking about your thinking. If that sounds like something you'd watch, I'd love to have you around. And if you want to watch more videos like this, make sure to subscribe because I have new videos coming out soon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.